All happened around 11:30 last night on 20th Place in the Tuxedo Terrace complex. Birmingham police say the suspect fired shots into an apartment, hitting the 3 victims. Investigators believe the suspect is a family member. They've taken that woman into custody, but police aren't releasing her name yet.
Unresolved past family issues and cross-generational trauma can fester over time, which can influence the current dynamic of any family and future relationships. Many different situations can play a part, ranging from internal conflicts to external stressors and troublesome behaviors that can strain or destroy a family unit. While conflicts are a normal part for any family from time to time, ongoing patterns of destructive behavior is not healthy for anyone to deal with, family or not. Even though some are in the belief that if you're a family, you work through any and everything. However, sometimes trying to force a situation to work just because they're family can have fatal consequences. These days, the saying blood is thicker than water does not seem to hold up as well as it did just a decade or two back, and more families are becoming each other's worst enemies. Well, today we will be in Birmingham, Alabama, going over 2 separate situations that people lost their lives, and all the people involved were family. Unlike a lot of DV cases, none of these people were in a relationship. They all had the same blood running through their veins, causing betrayal inside their own families. For 29-year-old Jawori Brown Allen, losing his older brother Derek Brown, also known as DP3, back in February of 2020 was a heavy burden not only for him but for his family. Adjusting to a new way of living without Derek was a continual battle after he lost his life at the young age of 25. Jawori, who many call Ori, made a promise to always make his brother proud and turned his pain into passion, creating Ori's Blessed Creations, where he did custom decorations on top of the departed's final resting place. He always took great pride in every single loved one he helped during their difficult time, and when he was not customizing graves, he was also an event planner and designer. Over the years since his brother left this earth, Ori's business continued to thrive, but no one foresaw what happened just 5 years after losing his brother. The day was November 29th, 2025, and Ori was out celebrating one of his other brothers turning 25 that day. Besides the 2 brothers, loved ones also joined in the celebration, and around 11:30 p.m., Ori would post a short 13-second video showing the people he was out with, and a female in the background would flip up the bird to the camera. Now, within 2 hours of that video, the same girl who flipped the bird would allegedly take the life of Ori, and to make matters worse, the 2 were said to be cousins. 27-year-old Alicia Brown and Ori were said to have gotten into an argument that tragically escalated to gunfire. According to the official police report, on Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at around 1:17 a.m., deputies from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office will respond to 5051 Parkway in Fairfield, Alabama, to investigate a report of a person down. Upon arrival, deputies discovered a 29-year-old male victim who was Ori that had suffered from apparent gunshot wounds. Fairfield Fire and Rescue responded to the scene and pronounced him unalive. A preliminary investigation will reveal that the victim and a relative were involved in a verbal dispute which led to shots being fired. The very next day, on Monday, December 1st, 2025, detectives obtained a warrant against 27-year-old Alicia Brown. Brown was then charged with murder and is being held without no bond.
Well, deputies responded just after 1 a.m. yesterday to a report of a person down near a home on Parkway Alley that's just several blocks north of Miles College, again in the Fairfield area. The coroner's office says that Jawori Brown Allen was found shot to death. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says he and a relative were arguing before the shooting. Well, today, detectives obtained a warrant against this woman, Alicia Brown, for murder in this case.
Ori's murder was not only a devastating blow for loved ones, but it also was for the community, and now his mom, who had to bury her second child. One person would say, such a gift and a talent, gone too soon. Jawori was in my first high school choir. He was my first student to receive a vocal scholarship ever. He also was the featured soloist for the graduation, a pure vocalist. Keep the Brown family in your prayers. Now on December 6, 2025, family and friends gathered together to celebrate the life of Ori and lay him to rest. Later that same day, as loved ones gathered together over a meal, tragedy would strike again after an alleged disagreement between family members. One of those family members was 35-year-old Jasmine Allen, and when Ori lost his life, she would say, "One thing about Ori, he was big on family and loved his family. He looked out winning if he could. I love the heck out of my cousin. Even though our couple disagreements, we both pulled up on each other always and told each other, I love you no matter what. He didn't care what the family had going on. He always pushed through. And when he had something going on, I pushed up on him too. We never know when it's our time to go. So fix what can be fixed because we are literally on borrowed time and we can't get that time back. Shaking my head. Just know I love you forever, cuzzo, no matter what. Rest up, baby. Well, this same cousin would allegedly be the one who pulled out a gun while gathering with family after the funeral, shooting multiple people. The exact reason things played out the way they did is not fully clear, but according to some loved ones, Jasmine had been going through her fair share of turmoil within the family from a very young age. The tragedy that December 6th day was said to have taken place on the 400 block of 20th Place, Ensley, around 11:25 p.m. A woman and two men were shot, and both men were later identified as 76-year-old Carlton Allen of Birmingham and 43-year-old Sonny Arrington of Clarksville, Tennessee. They were both pronounced deceased at the scene. Then there was another woman who was not identified, who was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
10 evidence markers are still visible next to bullet holes on the front door of this home in the 1400 block of 20th Place, Ensley. A neighbor who lives across the street describes what he heard Saturday night.
I just hear a whole bunch of gunshots, and I'm like, what the heck, like, where do I go? Like, I just dived on the floor and just bear crawled to my room, you know what I'm saying?
Another neighbor who did not want to show his face on camera says he heard his neighbors arguing out in the parking lot behind his home when he went to check on his children.
My kids went out here, I just went back in the house, and that's when I heard the gunshots take place.
The preliminary investigation suggests that the suspect shot into the apartment during a domestic-related argument and fled the scene. According to BPD, 35-year-old Jasmine Allen has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Now, the neighbors we spoke with this afternoon believe that their neighbors were holding some type of barbecue or a repass following a funeral for a 29-year-old man who was shot in Fairfield last week.
Even after all that played out on the very day that they all gathered together to lay Ori to rest, many loved ones are standing behind Jasmine, expressing that there was more to why she pulled the trigger on family. One person said, I am so hurt. People is going to be mad at me, but I am riding with my niece. I hate that this happened to Sonny, and I am messed up about Jen. But all of this stemmed from Nana. How she allows stuff to happen to them kids when they were younger. It's a lot of hurt. But you know, just like I know, that part of the family is so messed up. In a follow-up post, they will go on to say, I love you and I am with you. I hate this happened, but I will never turn my back on you. I know the harm you went through and wanted to be loved by your family. I hate my mama left so early because you wouldn't have endured what you did. I don't care if the world goes against you. I will be there. I told you sometimes you have to love family from a distance. I know you were doing good, baby girl. You know me and your granddaddy Greg with you. Then another person would say, F all that. Free you, twin. Love you, 5 life. That was just a few messages that were left, and it was very clear that some loved ones wanted her free and back home. Sadly, 2 people lost their lives, her uncle and her great uncle, and her own sister was the one said to be shot. Plus, it was said that a younger child was also grazed by a bullet. What has taken place for the Allen and Brown family is a tragedy straight out of a nightmare. Not one, but 2 separate family shootings, one taking place on the same day the first was laid to rest, is unimaginable and heartbreaking. 43-year-old Sonny Arrington, one of the family members that was shot, he was not even living in Alabama, but in Tennessee with his wife and 7 kids, and only came to town for Ori's funeral, and now he is gone. One tragedy literally led to another even bigger tragedy, and my heart and prayers go out to all involved. Let me know your thoughts. Also, please don't forget to comment your prayers for every single person that was affected by these crimes, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.